Welcome to Key Trends Spot, your daily dose of what's hot, what's viral, and what's next. From K-pop to culture, we spot the trends so you don't miss a beat. It has become commonplace for BTS fans to be surprised by Taehyung and Jungkook's closeness. But there was something different about their recent moment. The airport, which is usually just a transit point for celebrities, has now become an unofficial stage for the story of two hearts that seem to never be far apart. On that day, as the two walked side by side toward a meeting with an international fashion agency, the world seemed to pause for a moment because their steps were not just ordinary steps. There was a silence amid the crowd. There was a spark of warmth that could only be felt, not seen. For the general public, that moment might have been just an ordinary interaction. But not for those who have followed the story of Taekook, the term fans use to describe the closeness between Taehyung and Jungkook, for years. Every step they take, every glance they exchange, even every seemingly accidental hand gesture, always carries layers of meaning that can only be understood by those who feel it with their hearts. And on that day, a small detail sent the fandom into a frenzy, like a silent storm sweeping across the internet. A small bandage on Taehyung's left arm. At first glance, it might seem trivial, but not in a world where every inch of an idol's body is under scrutiny. Fans were divided. Was it a small wound? Or perhaps the beginning of something more personal, more permanent? A tattoo? Someone asked directly, and as usual, Taehyung didn't respond with words. He simply raised his hand, calmly, with a small smile that for some reason made hearts ache. The gesture offered no certainty, but precisely because it was uncertain, the mystery deepened and their hearts felt even closer. Isn't true love something that doesn't always need to be explained? What was more compelling than the bandage's mystery was the way Jungkook looked at him. Always by Taehyung's side, his steps never strayed far. He seemed to want to say, "Whatever you're hiding, I'll still be here." And truly, in that fleeting yet eternal moment, they were seen taking a selfie together. The photo hasn't been published, but fans know in a world filled with spotlight, there's a secret space they keep just for the two of them. They never explicitly stated what their relationship was, but everyone could see it. A relationship not built overnight, born from years together, from glances behind the stage, from hugs behind the spotlight, from smiles only understood by two people who know each other better than anyone else. Anyone who tries to separate them never succeeds. Rumors come and go, gossip rises and falls, but they stand side by side, because it's not the world that unites them, but understanding. You don't need to explain yourself to me, as if that's what their hearts say. They communicate in a language beyond words, hands that touch, shoulders that never stray far, eyes that meet and immediately look away because they're too honest. And amidst all the confusion of the world, one thing feels certain: Taehyung and Jungkook are each other's home. That day, another intriguing detail emerged in Taehyung's style. A dark Batman hat adorned his head. But this wasn't an ordinary hat, not a cheap item bought from a street vendor. It was part of an exclusive edition from Gentle Monster X ATI SSU. Only select individuals received this accessory. Fashion ambassadors, key figures, and yes, Taehyung was one of them. He wasn't just a singer, he wasn't just a dancer, he was a fashion icon, a muse, and an inspiration to the art world. Of course, fans immediately began to theorize. Is this hat a symbol? Is there a connection to Jungkook? To Taekook? Is this part of a secret campaign? But like the bandage, Taehyung just smiled. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it either. He let the world guess, while his heart remained anchored to someone who had been walking beside him all along. And it was precisely in that silence that their love resonated even more strongly. No stage, no official spotlight. Just two young men walking together through the airport. But for those who were attuned, that moment was more powerful than a grand concert. Taehyung touched Jungkook's arm, and Jungkook responded with a reflexive smile that could only come from genuine feelings. Not acting, not fan service. This is the comfort that comes from deep understanding, as if the world paused for a moment to witness them. They don't need words. They don't shout to the world that they're together, but the world knows, because their language is touch, presence, and loyalty. Some express love through poetry, some through song, but they express love through an unbreakable bond. This relationship isn't a puzzle. It doesn't need to be solved. It just needs to be felt. And when we feel it, we know. It's more than just friendship, more than colleagues. It's two hearts finding each other, comforting each other, and letting each other be themselves. Perhaps this is the purest form of love. Love that isn't announced on stage, not written in a contract, not photographed to be displayed. But it lives in simple moments, waiting for each other, sharing laughter behind the scenes, or walking side by side in the crowd while sharing a meaningful silence. Every moment they spend together is a form of honesty, not fabricated, not exaggerated, but also never denied. They don't strive to be legends, but quietly, they've become the most beautiful story for millions of hearts watching them. And perhaps, what's most touching of all is that they don't try to appear extraordinary in the eyes of the world. They just want to be important to each other. And it's precisely from there, from that quiet sincerity, that love capable of shaking the world is born. Do you feel it too, ARMY? In the silence they bring, does your heart also beat? Because behind their calm steps lies a love that doesn't need words to touch the soul. And so, what seemed like just another airport appearance became something unforgettable. A chapter in the quiet book only Taehyung and Jungkook are writing. Page by page, glance by glance. Maybe we'll never get answers. Maybe we don't need them. Because sometimes the most beautiful truths are the ones never spoken, only felt. And for those watching, hearts in hand, the bandage didn't need an explanation. The smile didn't need a reason. The touch didn't need a label. It just needed to be seen, understood, and remembered. For in a world full of noise, their silence speaks the loudest, and their love, quiet, unwavering, and unclaimed by definition, continues to echo in every heart that dares to believe in something deeper.
Which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear.